Let's go on to
Okay.
belief number 6, which is really interesting. You said the belief that everyone is doing their best.
Yeah, I remember when I first started out as an entrepreneur in my earlier business, which was t-shirts and gifts. We had an incredible run, my brother, mother, and I. Um, we would meet people who were in the know that had been in the t-shirt, apparel, gift business way longer than us, and they would try to befriend us and bring us in, and they'd be like, "You better be careful because there's sharks out there. There's sharks out there," and they get you scared. Like there's the boogeyman. Like everyone's trying to rip you off. It's like that is such destructive, unhelpful, untrue um, thinking. Everyone is a God particle, and everyone's doing their best. I don't dispute that some people's idea of the best is pretty awful and pretty hideous, ugly things happen in the world. But even those people have their own warped idea of justice, and they are always the microscopic exceptions to a world of 7 billion people that by and large love their families, love their life, do their best. Most people would risk their life in a heartbeat if they thought that they could save the life of someone dangling from a bridge. If they thought, it's our nature. That's how awesome we are. And where does that come from? The legs under the table. We are of the divine, by the divine. We sense this magic that's within all of ourselves. We sense our divine, eternal nature. And when you realize people aren't out to get you, and that doesn't mean put down all of your guards. People can make mistakes. But when you realize the people and the world are not out to get you, that this whole jungles of time and space is kind of a setup for your greatness, then all of a sudden you realize it's like the universe really is conspiring on our behalf. It's a non-judgmental divine intelligence, and there's no devil or hell. But that doesn't mean it's neutral. And this is one of my great epiphanies of my last Dead People book that just thrills me. It's a non-judging universe. People get that when they watch The Secret, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not being judged." And then all of a sudden you're like, "Well, then I can't be favored." And then everyone has the same shot as me. And all of a sudden we're lost in the muddle. No, non-judgmental is not to be confused with neutrality. The universe is you. It adores you. It loves you. It's pushing you on to greatness. You're so inclined to succeed. And so realizing that the universe shows up as other people, that shows up as circumstances, all for our betterment, then suddenly we realize that bad things don't happen in time and space, because everything, as you said earlier, is a challenge for you to be greater than you even knew you could be before that issue showed up.
That reminds me of a model of reality from Neil Donald Walsh. That model of reality comes from his book, The Little Soul and the Sun. And you can Google that. It's a children's book, actually. But the idea is that I have sent you nothing but angels. That everyone in your life, even the people who have fundamentally hurt you, were there to teach you a lesson. And it's a beautiful belief, a really beautiful belief, because it helps with forgiveness.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if you'd like to explore that belief further, I'll be bringing Neil Donald Walsh onto this program in a couple of months. But you can also buy his book, The Little Soul and the Sun.